Ian, Nintendo has some words about the Wii U.
So, real quick here, this is pretty freaking humorous. Nintendo is claiming that the NX is not going to be a replacement for the Wii U. They're stating that it is something very new. The hardware, the software lineup, all of it is something I'd like to play for the first time myself, he said, which does nothing to substantiate the fact that this is not a Wii U replacement. When the NX is released, the Wii U business will slow. The Wii U business is already slow. However, the NX is neither the successor to the Wii U nor the 3DS. It's a new way of playing games. So a successor, which I think will have a larger impact on the Wii U. So it's going to be a successor. But I don't feel it's a pure replacement for the Wii U. What the fuck does that mean? So I wanted to bring this up because I find it interesting because Nintendo kind of has a habit of doing this. I don't know how many of you will remember back to when the DS came out. But I feel like when Nintendo is feeling like they're taking a risk on something, and I have a feeling this hardware is going to be interesting, the NX hardware, I feel like they use what they already have on the market as sort of a fallback, a potential fallback. They stated the DS was not going to be a replacement for the Game Boy Advance. They stated that it was going to run concurrently with the Game Boy Advance as a secondary piece of hardware entering the portable market. And frankly, while the Game Boy Advance was starting to show its age power-wise, it was still pulling off Super Nintendo-style games perfectly well. They probably could have gotten a few more years out of it, but the Nintendo DS could do rudimentary 3D, and eventually it ended up being adopted and sold like wildfire, and of course was a successor, and the Game Boy Advance support was quickly dropped, I would say, within about a year of the DS being released. So, once again, Nintendo is, I don't know, just spouting, for all the people who think we're Nintendo fanboys, I'm totally cool with, calling out when Nintendo's just spouting absolutely nonsensical bullshit, which is what this is.
Well, this is the CEO of the company, right? Tatsumi Kimishima.
Yes.
It's not like the CEO of a company can come out and say, yeah, our current product is fucking dead.
Right.
Like, you can't do that. You'd be ousted the next day. You'd be thrown off the top of the building.
But everyone knows new hardware. I mean, you don't have to speak negatively.
You can't say that about your product. You cannot say our current product is dead for a product that's going to come out a year from now. You just can't say that, no matter what. You have to.
Sony referred to the PS4 as a successor to the PS3. You're allowed to do that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with saying that you're coming out with the successor to your hardware.
Yeah, but Sony's, that's like one minute part of their entire business versus. This is all Nintendo does.
But there's always going to be a successor to the hardware.
Well, you don't say that.
You're not. But you do. You're not fooling anyone here.
It's all presentation.
You sound dumb.
It's all the presentation.
You sound idiotic.
No, your
Wii U and your NX are going to sit side by side and live happily fucking ever after.
Hey, we're going to support the Wii U forever. It's never going to go away. Come on, our stock numbers are going to go up tomorrow by 10 cents.
Sure.
I think it's funny. I'm looking at the sales here in this little chart. I had no idea that the Wii U has only sold half of what the GameCube did, so that's bad.
Oh yeah,
it's only sold 10.7 million units. GameCube sold 21.7, and the Wii sold 101 million units, which is insane. For any console. That'll never happen again, I don't think.
No.
That'll never happen in our lifetime until the aliens take over and Nintendo creates a console that acts as like a body armor / laser beam to repel the invasion. Then
that's not a console. That's self-defense.
They'll figure it out. It'll be an all-in-one thing. There'll be a cartridge slot in there. And the Nintendo DS, the DS sold 154 million. And the 3DS sold 54 million, which is very good. Which is why, once again, Nintendo will never stop selling hardware. Because for every failure like the Wii U, the Wii did fucking gangbusters times 50.
The DS did, and the 3DS, which some people like to call a failure.
Which is insane to call it a failure.
Because 54 million units is not small.
54 million is more than what the Super Nintendo did. And then
they put it in that perspective, that's
Super
crazy.
Nintendo did 49 million. And in terms of software, it's not like people forget. Like I'm looking at the software chart here.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii sold 911 million pieces of software. That's not a small number.
No,
that's a ratio of 10 per, almost. That's 9 per 1 per unit. That's pretty respectable. That's better. That's better than what the Super Nintendo did. Again, so if you bought on average you bought a Super Nintendo, you bought about 7 games for it. If you bought a Wii, on average you bought about 9 games. I'm not sure if they're including downloadable titles for that, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Either way. And good old Game Boy and Game Boy Color included did 118 million. Good old Game Boy. So obviously the Wii U is going to go away. I think it's going to be, you won't see any new games past the end of 2017. You're going to get Zelda, and you'll get one more title just thrown, or but you'll get some of.
I don't think you're going to get another Nintendo title. I think Zelda's it.
You're going to get titles that are going to be in both Wii U and Wii for like a year or two. You're going to get someone, you know what I mean? Because the new Nintendo title that's going to come out is going to need the entire power of the NX. So they'll be able to port a version onto the Wii U probably. So, but you're not gonna get any fresh original games.
No,
that's for sure. So maybe you get the Assassin's Creed movie tie-in when it comes out or something. Ubisoft will throw them a bone on the Wii U.